don't host Thanksgiving right now. If you have young kids, your time to host holidays will come. When you have young kids, especially babies, elementary school kids, it is not your turn to host holidays. It is your turn to be hosted, to bring the excitement, to bring the fun of those young kids to someone else's house. Hey, Fraud Squad. Welcome to Who Let Me Do This. I'm your host, Saidee, and this is the podcast for anyone who's ever looked around and thought, wait, who trusted me with this job, with these kids, and with this life? Here's the deal. I'm not here to hand you the perfect 5-step plan to get your life together. I'm here to share the chaos, the fails, the small wins, and the oh my God, same moments of trying to be a working mom, a decent human, and occasionally a functioning adult. And because we are all out here winging it together, I'll also bring in actual experts to drop some wisdom and share tips that might make our lives easier, just a little. So if you're listening, congrats. You're officially a part of the Fraud Squad. That's our little community of imposters, hot messes, and overachievers who are all just faking it together. So grab your coffee, grab your wine, or let's be real, grab the leftover food from dinner that your kid didn't eat, and let's dive in. Oh, and if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode and share it with a friend who could, use a laugh or maybe just a little solidarity. The more of us in the Fraud Squad, the better. Welcome back to another episode of Who Let Me Do This. I'm Saidee, your host, and you guys, we are recording with video. We're trying it. Originally, I had shared with you guys that I was not going to be releasing podcast video until in 2026, but that's really due to the fact that I have all of my content planned and recorded through the rest of 2025, except for my Thanksgiving episode and my Christmas episode. So, little sneak peek, we're going to have some video dropped in, which is so scary, so exciting. And this is where I'm probably always going to record from. My bed. I did already record an episode for January, and in that I made my bed, and it was like so cute. And that's just not real life, people. So today I'm sitting in my unmade bed, which I like a made bed, but I had a kid home sick with me today, and we didn't sleep a lot last night. So we're hanging on by a thread, and as soon as I am done recording this, we will be going right to sleep. As you guys can see, I got a real podcast mic. I'm trying not to allow my booming voice to take over like it did in the beginning of the podcast. But here we are. You guys, welcome to Who Let Me Do This, Thanksgiving edition. So instead of Saidee Sits, we are going to do something a little bit different today, and we're going to do Saidee Sips. You guys, this is my Thanksgiving episode, which means that we are getting ready for cozy wine season. One thing you should know about me is I love wine. I love to learn about wine. I love to taste wine. I take wine classes. I'm a part of wine clubs. It's just so interesting. So today I am sipping on a Syrah Grenache blend from Spain. It is delicious. It is berry forward. It's very, very drinkable. I would like to say I'm doing research for Thanksgiving dinner, but really, I just felt like having a little glass of wine while we recorded today. We're just going to take a quick little sip. And let's get into it, people. Let's get into Thanksgiving. Today, we're going to talk about hot takes. Okay, you guys know I love a hot take episode. And today, we're going to talk about hot takes for Thanksgiving. First of all, I think Thanksgiving is one of the best holidays of the year. And actually, as I reflected on this episode and what I wanted to talk about when it came to Thanksgiving as a full-time working mom, I actually think Thanksgiving should be every full-time working mom's favorite holiday. Okay, so we're going to talk about why. Side note, it's not going to be your favorite holiday if you're hosting it. All right, so let's just get that out of the way right now. Don't host Thanksgiving right now. If you have young kids, your time to host holidays will come. When you have young kids, especially babies, elementary school kids, it is not your turn to host holidays. It is your turn to be hosted, to bring the excitement, to bring the fun of those young kids to someone else's house. You know why? Because You got enough going on. And the last thing you need to do before this one-day holiday is to have to clean your entire house, do grocery shopping more than you already have to, and then plan a multi-course dinner. Okay? No, 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 no. So if you are hosting, I know it's the week of Thanksgiving, but honestly, I would see if you could offload that on someone. Go to your parents, go to one of your siblings who doesn't have kids or has older kids, go to one of your aunts. Maybe your grandma is still hosting. The time will come for you to host. It is not today. Please let me give you the permission to not host a holiday with young kids. All right, let's get into it. So, because you are not hosting, I'm going to make a big assumption that you are not hosting this holiday as we talk about Thanksgiving and why all of us working moms should love it. Because if you're not hosting, you have to do no prep. You do not have to clean your house. Your house could be a complete shit storm as you walk out to go to Thanksgiving lunch or dinner or whatever your family celebrates. And no one's going to know. Okay? Like that is the epitome of the highlight reel, right? You know that in your house you've got dirty diapers on the ground, you've got dirty laundry outside your door, you've got a toilet that hasn't been scrubbed. But guess who doesn't know that? Uncle Pat at the Thanksgiving table, cousin Carl at the Thanksgiving table, because it's not at your house. So again, if you are hosting, do not host. Okay, so even though you don't have to prep, right? You might say, Sadie, I have to bring something. Like my family does a thing where everyone brings a dish. Cool, cool, cool. I will give you so many easy things to bring that aren't a cop out. Okay. And also, like, let's give us some grace. You are a full-time working mom with young kids. This is not the time to find a super involved 50-step recipe with 47 ingredients from Pinterest where you have to cultivate your own sweet potatoes from the earth and then create your own marshmallow out of gelatin and horse's hooves. For some reason, I feel like someone told me at one time that marshmallows are made from horse's hooves. Maybe that's glue. Not important. Don't do that, okay? If you need to contribute to your family's Thanksgiving, I think that's wonderful. Get a bottle of wine, all right? Use ChatGPT, put in some of the core courses that you're having or how the turkey's being prepared and find out what the perfect type of wine to bring is and impress everyone with your wine knowledge. Do you guys not think that's what I'm doing? I am, okay? If you don't drink or if someone else in your life has the wine covered, go buy a pie. Go buy a pie. It's not that hard. It's a crowd pleaser. It is amazing. Go buy one of those massive pumpkin pies from Costco. They're huge. They're delicious. They feed the whole family. You don't like dessert? You're making this difficult. But bring bread. Go and get sourdough. Here where I live in Minnesota, we have the best sourdough bread at our local Hy-Vee. I don't know if Hy-Vee is nationwide or not, but Hy-Vee is just one of our grocery store chains here, and they make the best fresh sourdough bread. So do that. If you feel the need to put some elbow grease into it, maybe you're a sourdough girly. Make a loaf of sourdough for your family. Do not overcomplicate this, people. Okay, like there are so many years that you will be able to overcomplicate this. It does not need to be this year. Another reason why all of us working moms should love and appreciate and be thankful for Thanksgiving is that there are not a lot of activities associated with Thanksgiving, similar to the other holidays like Christmas. There is no visiting Santa. There are no pre-Thanksgiving parties. Maybe there's a Friendsgiving, but that should be even less work and even more fun. But there isn't a lot of things leading up to Thanksgiving. Like we just show up on Thanksgiving, we celebrate, we eat, we laugh, we drink, and then we walk into the holly jolliest season of them all. So there is no pre-work to Thanksgiving. Don't try and match your outfits. Save that for Christmas, okay? Get comfy. You're going to be uncomfortable by the amount of food you eat, so don't go and make all of your kids wear hard pants. We all know how we feel about a hard pant here on the Who Let Me Do This podcast. Don't make your kids do it if it's not completely necessary. Another huge benefit of Thanksgiving, and I remember my dad talking about this a lot when I was growing up because his favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, and I loved it as a child, and I still love it today. But this is such a good point that there is no pressure with Thanksgiving because there is no gifts with Thanksgiving. There is no order of events with Thanksgiving. You get there, you have a drink, you have some appetizers, you eat when the turkey's done. Your family might tell you dinner's at 2. Guess what? They don't get to decide that. The turkey does. Tell me one family that has ever had their Thanksgiving dinner on time. Okay? Tell me one turkey that has ever popped their little turkey button on time. Never. Never. I don't care how you're cooking that turkey. So there is no plan for Thanksgiving. The plan is to just be there and to visit and to eat and to laugh. So we don't have to sit at dinner with kids buzzing of excitement that they get to open presents later. There is no shopping before Thanksgiving. There is no trying to find the perfect present. There is no worrying if you spent too little money or too much money on a gift. It's just truly about being present. And I think that is a really beautiful thing that we do not do enough of. And I am here to remind you that Thanksgiving is an amazing opportunity to do that. Another reason why us full time working moms should love Thanksgiving is there's no decor expectation. Yes, you can sometimes see Thanksgiving decorations. And if you want to go all out, please be my guest. But no one is going to walk into someone's house in November and be like, oh, you seem to be missing your mantle turkey. Are you not celebrating this year? Are you not, are things not well? No, 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 no. If you're someone who celebrates Christmas and someone walks into your home in December and you do not have a Christmas tree up, there's going to be questions. You don't have to have a you don't have to have a Christmas tree up, but you better have a reason why you don't. In Thanksgiving, you could have nothing look different in your house and no one would be the wiser. You can also be super efficient with decorations at this time of year because many Halloween decorations can morph and evolve into Thanksgiving decorations, especially if you lean more like fall decor, fall feels decoration, a little apple here, a little pumpkin there, a turkey if you feel so inclined, some leaves perhaps, maybe an acorn. Obviously, you're going to take down the jack-o'-lanterns and the skeletons, but I would say I am able to utilize about 60 to 70% of my fall decorations for both Halloween and Thanksgiving. And then we're going to take down all of our fall decorations and go full-blown winter at Christmas. Also, listen, I am of the belief that you decorate for Christmas when you're ready to decorate for Christmas. And if that is on November 1st, I'm not going to judge you. And guess what? No one's going to judge you for having your Christmas tree up and not having Thanksgiving decorations up. They might judge you for putting your Christmas tree up too early. I won't, but I'm not the people, okay? Some people are going to, but it's not going to be because it was chosen in lieu of Thanksgiving decorations. Okay, next. There are very minor traditions when it comes to Thanksgiving. It's very family dependent on what those traditions are. And again, it's all about the lack of pressure with Thanksgiving. Like I mentioned before, Thanksgiving for so many families is just about being together. Some families, it's about watching football all day. Easy, 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 easy. Even if you don't like football, lay on the couch, pour yourself a little red blend and look at your phone while the guys are watching football or go chit chat in the kitchen with the people who don't watch football. Whatever you want to do, like there aren't a lot of traditions, and that should just alleviate the pressure and the stress that you might be feeling about the upcoming holidays. Okay. Speaking of traditions, I have a planned tangent, okay? And that is Thanksgiving traditions. As you guys know, my parents, Butch and Carol, my dad's real name is not Butch, it's Jim, but his nickname is Butch, and I just think it's so endearing. Also, my mom's real name is not Carol, it's Carolyn, but we call them Butch and Carol as a term of endearment. They are amazing about family traditions. They are amazing about creating these spaces and these things that do not cost a lot of money, that weren't a ton of work to do, and just doing the damn thing. And they have become some of my most cherished memories as a child and memories and traditions that I am carrying forward with my children. And I hope that they look back on and feel the same way that I do. All right. So, my family's traditions, we're going to start with my all time favorite one. And this is one of the reasons I love Thanksgiving even more and why I feel even less pressure about Thanksgiving is because my family's big Thanksgiving moment is actually the day before Thanksgiving. It's on Wednesday night. We come together. So all of my siblings, all the significant others, now all the grandbabies, obviously my parents, and we come together and we bake homemade pies. We always bake a pumpkin pie. We use my great grandma's pumpkin pie recipe. We all have roles. Some people make the crust from scratch. Some people do the filling. Some people just entertain the crowds. I'm kind of a floater. I've done a little bit of column A. I've done a little bit of column B. I like to taste the filling before it goes into the pie. Oh gosh, you guys, it's so good. We usually make a couple of fruit pies as well, but it's such a fun evening. We all flood to my parents' house the night before Thanksgiving and we order Chinese food and we just sit and laugh and have the best time. And it is this amazing opportunity One, with when we were young, it was this amazing opportunity to just do something all together that we could all participate in with all the different ages of my siblings and I. Two, as we got older, we would go to their house, and oftentimes we never even made it out to the bars pre-Thanksgiving night because we were just having so much fun at our parents' house. And then finally, and this is my favorite part of this tradition, is that it gave my siblings and I a chance to reconnect, with the significant others and just with each other before all of the extended family came in. And as we've gotten older and gotten married and have in laws that we have to go to their Thanksgiving sometimes, it's taken the pressure off of having to switch sides because we know we have that Wednesday night tradition. Because I cannot even tell you how much I love pie baking. And I like pie. I like pie just as much as the next person, but, like, I have Thanksgivings where I don't eat pie, but I would never miss a pie bake, okay? The other thing we used to do, and we haven't done this in years, it just honestly became a little bit too labor intensive, and we would get too into our conversations and our laughing and our storytelling at home that we would forget to do it, but we were very into this growing up. We used to do something called a turkey creation. We would take something that was not turkey-based, so another food. Often it was a food from the Thanksgiving meal, but sometimes we went rogue, sometimes we went crazy, and we would create something that looked like a turkey. One year, we made little turkey buns. So we made homemade bread and we folded them into looking like little turkeys. We put them at everyone's place setting the next day, Thanksgiving. One year, we made turkeys out of apples. One year, we made a giant loaf of bread that was folded just right so it looked like a 2D turkey. We've made turkey out of cupcakes. We've made a turkey out of candy. We have gotten so creative with the turkey creation. We've done the charcuterie board turkey creation. It was so much fun because the rule growing up was we couldn't decide what the turkey creation was until the night before Thanksgiving. So you could come with ideas. When Pinterest became a thing, we could research, but we would come together, we would talk about what we wanted to execute, and then we would all go to the grocery store, like the local grocery store together, get the ingredients we needed, and then we'd sit around the table at night trying to figure out how to take these random foods and make them look like a turkey. And then our extended family was so fun because after they caught onto this tradition, they would come and be so excited to see like what was a turkey creation this year. Really, really fun tradition. Something I hope to reenact with my kids at some point. Guys, right now, I'm just too tired. I might need to outsource that to my dad because he would spearhead the turkey creation to start, and then I kind of started to spearhead it. I just don't know if I have it in me right now. I got to get through some of these sleep regressions. Maybe when I'm out of daycare. I don't know. Anyways, so both things are like quintessential Thanksgiving to me. Turkey creation is on furlough right now. It'll come back. It'll come back. Pie baking is as alive as ever. I cannot wait to go to pie baking in a couple days with my family to make all of our pies. We make enough so that if someone is going to their in-laws' house, they can bring one of our famous pies along. It is just so, so much fun. Okay, so then let's talk about the other traditions that are easier for you to join in on or start if this is something where you don't even know where to start with a Thanksgiving tradition, but you feel ready to maybe dip your toe in the water. But you're like, Sadie, I don't want to spend money. And Sadie, I don't want this to be a lot of work. All right, enter the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Who remembers in the 90s going downstairs, turning on the Thanksgiving Parade, and watching the Macy's floats come through and trying to figure out what balloons were coming all the way till Santa in the end? I cannot tell you how much joy that parade has brought me over the years. It is a dream of mine at one point to go to the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Is that going to happen right now? No, no, because if I go to the Thanksgiving Day Parade, I am not standing in the crowd. I have a lot of anxiety about standing in a crowd. One, because look at our world. But two, what if you have to pee? I think about this all the time. Do you just pee your pants or do you lose your spot? And you're in New York City. From the times I've been in New York City, it isn't a very public restroom friendly city. So then it's like, I have to pee. So then I have to go and buy something, maybe to use a bathroom. Maybe I'm buying a drink, but now I'm back at square one and then I'm behind. I just like my bladder's not going to go for 5 hours or whatever you have to do to line up. Plus, it's kind of cold. So I am holding out to be able to do the Thanksgiving parade when I have really made it big and I can get a hotel along the route and my family can watch it from the windows and see everything and all of the crowds and have so much fun and see the magic that New York City is. But again, that's not going to happen today. Okay, in Minneapolis, We had a newspaper, and we still have a newspaper, no one gets it though, called the Star Tribune. And the Star Tribune used to print a picture of a turkey, like a coloring sheet of a turkey on the front page of the paper every Thanksgiving morning. And so my siblings and I, remember, I'm one of 5 kids, we would race to wake up, run downstairs, get the morning paper, and whoever got it first would get to color the turkey. This caused so much drama in our family. There were tears, there was fighting, it was ugly, people. It was ugly. But alas, get up earlier, right? Am I right? We did at one point realize that everyone in the neighborhood actually was also getting this newspaper with the turkey on it. And while we grew up in a neighborhood that had a ton of kids, we also had a lot of old people. So we worked smarter, not harder. And we would talk to neighbors prior to Thanksgiving, asking if we could have their turkey to color. Of course, everyone said yes. So then it turned into whoever got up first got to have our front step turkey and didn't have to go outside, which in Minnesota, it could be snowing on Thanksgiving. It could be 60 degrees on Thanksgiving. It's anybody's best guess. But then the other person had to go and steal the front page of the newspaper from the rest of the neighbors if they really wanted to color a turkey. But again, I just remember so many years in the 90s sitting in my parents' sunroom, coloring a turkey with this big bag of crayons that mostly were broken, that were like leftover from prior school years, to make my turkey all sorts of colors. Sometimes I did a traditional turkey. Sometimes I did a funky turkey. Sometimes I did a rainbow turkey. It was just the best. It was absolutely just the best. So all in all, I think all of these are incredible reasons and examples why Thanksgiving should be your favorite holiday as a full-time working mom. Okay. I recognize, like, I'm not going to just pretend that it's all sunshine and rainbows. I also recognize that we're asking our young children to sit down at a formal dinner, which is most of our worst nightmares. This is what I'll say: get a kid table, keep it away from the adult table. Don't overthink the nutrition that your kids are getting on Thanksgiving. If they eat a dinner full of rolls, they've eaten a dinner full of rolls. We can get back to the macronutrients the next day, okay? It's just not worth it. If they only eat pie that day, they only eat pie. Make sure that there's pickles out and they can have pickles as an appetizer before Thanksgiving dinner, and then they've kind of gotten a vegetable that day. So I know it is stressful. My plan for Thanksgiving, so that I can enjoy it and enjoy spending time with my family, especially now that I don't have like a new baby that has to be watched all of the time, is I'm going to make my kids dishes. I'm going to put them in front of them. I'm going to let them eat what they want to eat. And then when they're done, I'm going to excuse them to go play in the other room so I can continue to sit around with my parents, my cousins, my siblings, and whoever else is at our family Thanksgiving and chat and just be. Worst case scenario, let's say it's a disaster. Guess what? It's one day. This is not a marathon. Thanksgiving is not a marathon holiday, people. This is a sprint, okay? We go for one day. For some families, you only have to go for a few hours. And if you're not feeling it, you leave, okay? You don't have to miss out on presents. You don't have to miss out on anything magical. So do what works for you. Take the pressure off of yourself. Now, we're going to talk about some hot takes in Thanksgiving that I think are overrated. Number one, we're not going to go deep into this because I have been pretty clear about my feelings on this, is hosting. Don't host Thanksgiving when you have young kids, okay? I actually love to host. Before I had children, I used to host Friendsgivings. I would sometimes rent out spaces to host Friendsgivings. I would host Easter brunches. I love to host baby showers. But what I will say to you is, at this stage of my life, one, I actually don't currently live in a place that is set up well for hosting, especially with how large my family is. But also, it just adds so much unnecessary stress. My parents, luckily, are still willing to and able to host. I very much expect that I will take that over from them at some point because I really do get a lot of joy from it. But it is not going to be when I have a 3-year-old, okay? It's going to be when my kids are sleeping in until 10 a.m. and they're out of my way in the morning when I'm getting those last things done, whether it's prepping food in the kitchen or doing a last minute clean. They need to be children that can get themselves in and out of the shower. They can get themselves dressed. Maybe they can just be on a device or watching TV until the guests arrive. And that is when I will go back to hosting. The second thing I think is so overrated when it comes to Thanksgiving is going to brunch or lunch for your meal. I do think there are situations where it's completely appropriate. I get people don't like to cook. Okay. I totally understand that. But with young kids, it blows. There was one year where it happened that all of my siblings and I were not with my parents for Thanksgiving as adults. And my parents took it in stride. They were really awesome about it. And so instead, they said, "Hey, does anyone want to meet up at a Buffalo Wild Wings the night of Thanksgiving? We'll have drinks. We can order some appetizers if people are hungry, but we just want to see you." And that was honestly a really, really fun Thanksgiving because it took the pressure of having to go between two families, which I would also say is a hot take and completely overrated. And I would recommend against that 1,000 times over because when you're trying to go from one family to the other family, even if those two meals are perfectly timed where you can get to both meals, do you really want to eat two Thanksgiving meals in a day? I don't know. Also, in the first one, you don't want to eat too much if you're planning to eat at the second one. Or if you choose the first one to be your meal, then you're just kind of sitting at the second one. If you have young kids, you're trying to figure out nap time through all of that. You have to drive. So then you have to be more careful about drinking, or maybe you're just not drinking. If you live in the Midwest, there is weather that you're worried about. It just is overcomplicated. Again, Thanksgiving is a sprint, not a marathon. And so I think it's a little bit aggressive. We did it for a couple years. We tried to go to two different families, and it was just never enjoyable. It was never enjoyable. You just felt like you were always looking at the clock at the first Thanksgiving to get to the second Thanksgiving. You felt like you were missing out, even though it's not a holiday with a bunch of different things happening. It's not fun. So, hot take, don't do two Thanksgivings. Just switch off every year. Here's a hot take that I know I'm going to get hate for. I know it, but I have to say it. I hate stuffing. I hate it. I don't like in the bird stuffing. I don't like out of the bird stuffing. I don't like stuffing. And I don't know why I don't like stuffing. I like most of the ingredients in stuffing, but I try it every single year and I just can't get behind it. That being said, my family makes something we call stuffing. That is not stuffing. It has almost none of the ingredients of a normal stuffing, and we call it Buzelmeyer stuffing. Say it with me now. Buzelmeyer stuffing. It's named after one side of my family. It's my grandma's maiden name. And it's delicious. But regular stuffing, no go. No, thank you. Honestly, you can have my serving. I know this is a hot take, but I'm just like not sorry about it. I also don't do gravy. I'm not a gravy girly. I'm not. I and I could go with or without the turkey. The turkey's fine. Tell me, I mean, someone please comment on this episode if you've ever walked away from Thanksgiving saying, "Wow, that was some of the best turkey I've ever had." No, people, we are there for the sides. We are there for the mac and cheese. We are there for the bread. We are there for the beautiful harvest salads that people are bringing these days. I am obsessed. I will not bring that while I have young kids, but thank you to those people who are researching those salads, putting them together, and allowing me to enjoy them on Thanksgiving. So, all of that to be said, Thanksgiving is upon us. And we are walking into just a really busy, stressful time of year. Okay. There's no denying that. We are walking into the busiest time of year, which is Christmas season, Hanukkah season, Kwanzaa season. There are so many traditions when it comes to those holidays. There are so many expectations when it comes to those holidays. And we all know that. And we know that the work to make those holidays magical falls 90% on the mom. I'm not saying there are not men out there. There are not dads. There are not husbands that are taking on some of that work. But we know studies show, I don't have a study to quote, but someone bring me something that says otherwise, that Christmas, Hanukkah, the winter holidays are much more of a burden and a marathon for the mom who is still working full time in most cases over these holidays. So when we are thinking about this week for Thanksgiving, when we are sitting at that Thanksgiving table, when we are picking up bread to bring to that Thanksgiving dinner, let's just sit and recognize and enjoy the fact that we're not asking much from you today. And that's okay. Don't feel bad about that. You are about to go into your insane marathon that you're expected to sprint the whole season through. We're going to be stepping into the season where you have to not only have remembered to get the Christmas card picture, but order the Christmas cards, check the addresses, get the stamps, get them out. We all know how frickin' expensive that entire process is. You need to start to think about presents. Find a time to go see Santa, the Christmas parties, the Christmas outfits, St. Nick's. I mean, there's so many expectations when it comes with Christmas that are just not there during Thanksgiving. And so I want you to challenge yourself this year, even if your kids are being so annoying, even if your kids are overtired, even if your kids are being a little bit needy, there is so much less for you to do today. And just sit in that and just enjoy it. Pour yourself an extra glass of wine. Cut yourself an extra piece of pie. Buy yourself something on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. God knows your kids are going to get enough gifts at Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever holiday that you celebrate. They're going to get enough gifts from you, their grandparents, their aunts and uncles, their secret Santas. There are so many places and ways for our children to receive things. And sometimes we forget about ourselves. So, the two things I want you to do as we walk away from this episode, prepping you for Thanksgiving week, is to one, figure out what you're going to buy yourself. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Wrap it up if that makes you feel better. Don't use it till Christmas if that makes you feel better. Or do. Okay? You make the rules here. And then just sit in the fact that you're not that needed on Thanksgiving, and that's a really beautiful thing. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys all have such a wonderful, healthy, relaxing to the degree that it can be Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Talk soon. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining this episode of Who Let Me Do This. Go drink some water, set a boundary, and don't forget, you're doing amazing, sweetie, even if you're spiraling. And hey, if this episode made you laugh or feel seen, send it to a friend, hit follow, or leave a review. You know, do all the things. See you next time.